Hello everyone, today we'll continue learning Python and today I'll show you how you can use filters in Django and why you should use them. So let's start. But before we start that video, I recommend you subscribing to my Telegram channel. You will find lots of materials, modules, libraries, examples and tasks on Python in my Telegram channel. Also, I post all the announcements there, so if you want to understand what will happen to the channel in the near future, you can go here. And I respond to comments much faster than I do it on YouTube. So subscribe to my Telegram channel, link in the description down below. First of all, that video is not for the beginners of Django framework. So if you're a beginner, just close that video, because I will not explain like what are apps, what are settings, URLs, views, templates, and so on. I will also not explain what are models, so you need to be familiar with these things. But what is filter in Django? There are lots of filters that we can use. First of all, there is object.filter function in Django ORM, or method in Django ORM, so everybody knows about that. It just filters your database, gets some records from it, but I will not talk about that filter today. Well, we will work with that, but I will not talk about it directly. I will not talk about Django filters module. It's a very popular module, but again, that is not the topic of that video. I will not talk about filter backends in Django REST framework. I'll talk about my own filters that I somehow invented. So I have not invented them, but I have never heard about them until I started to use them by myself. So what are filters? So I have products app right here, and I have models, model A, model B. So you can see that code is not a great one. So I have is active, is online here, is active, is online here. It's better to make an abstract model and use it as a mixin or as an ancestor of our models. As you can see, we have from time and to time fields. So this and from time point to time point fields. These fields are pretty similar. So these are both datetime fields, but I want to make similar requests in Django filter, but I want to not to repeat myself. Again, that video is how not to repeat yourself and how to use Django filters that I invented again. And yeah, let's just start. I talk too much. So again, we have two models and let's go to products views. I have already imported that and let's create an, for example, a view def, test model A view, like that. So request, let's get it right here, and what I want to do here, model A dot objects dot filter. So as I said, we will use filter, but we will not talk about filter directly. And what I want to make a request that will get all active and all online models from our database. So is active and is online must be true. Let's get objects and let's, for example, return them in HTTP response, like that, objects. Then let's copy that code, let's paste it right here, and as you can see, I already repeat myself. So let's go to model B right here, and let's, for example, make JSON response, just for the sake of it. Let's go right here, objects, like that. Okay, and yeah, values list, because will not, for example, is active, and flat equals true. Okay, so what do we have here? We have two similar views. And what is very similar about them? As you can see, we use HTTP response right here. So HTTP response, content type is text/HTML, and JSON response right here. We like literally give different data. We don't repeat ourselves in this and that lines. However, where do we repeat ourselves? In our Django ORM requests, right here and right here. There are some things that a lot of you do in your everyday Django work, and you can do it in that situation. If you find yourself repeating two similar filter requests, get requests, or any when you repeat yourself, what you can do? First of all, you can create a new function, and that is better because actually you should not make any requests in views, because it just does not work. A lot of times we repeat our requests from in one view or another, and it's better to make like business folder where you store all your business logic in Django, and you can make all the requests inside of that business folder. However, what if we cannot, and what we'll do? We'll create like get all active and online function in our business module, then we'll create get all module B in our business module, and we will just again repeat ourselves, but however, we will not repeat ourselves directly right here. We'll use one function, and there are some ways that you can like accept a module, make some requests, so I think you know what I mean. However, what if we want to make a simple request, just a simple request, but we don't want to use mix scenes, Django object managers, I don't know, business logic for some reason? What we can do is we can use filters, and filters can be used like anywhere in Django, not just in ORM. So what is the idea of a filter? Let's go to filters.py, which I created in my products right here. And what I want to do, so we get all active and online records from our database. Let's create function get active and online filter, or let's just name it active and online filter like that. And let's return not like a function, we will not call anything, we'll return a dictionary. Is active, which is true, and is online, which is also true. So why do we need to do that, you ask? Well, actually, because in Python we have unpacking. Let's go right here and let's use unpacking from our dictionary. So what it does? In Django ORM filter function, get function, or anywhere actually, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but let's go right here, we accept arguments and queued arguments. So queued arguments, it's just arguments that you provide. For example, name equals anything. I don't know, is active equals anything, or Unicode translate error, for example. So you can use whatever argument you need, but Django will check it later. So again, we use any arguments. These are queued arguments in Django. If you don't know about quarks in Python, then watch my other video. But what do we do here? We use filter to filter for is active and is online. These are queued arguments, so they do not exist in filter function, because filter function is a generic one. We use filter in any model, so I can import Django auth users, Django sites, for example, and use my filter function inside of them. And I will not need to like create a new filter function with a set of arguments. No, because in Python we have a very powerful tool which is called queued arguments. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see it. Queued arguments. And yeah, that's why Django RAM is so powerful, because we literally can use any argument we want. We can provide names for these arguments, and yeah, that's just great. However, if you find yourself in the situation when you use similar arguments, is online equals true, you can again create a filter. So in our case, it's just a function, active and online filter, that returns a dictionary. Well, and in Python, I think you know what I mean. We can use, let's import that. Let's import from products filters, and we can use unpacking. So what is unpacking? Well, actually, we create similar arguments from our dictionary. So we literally say use is active equals true and get all the arguments from the dictionary. So when we use unpacking, we do not receive like a dictionary inside of our Django RAM. We receive is active equals true, is online equals true, or whatever you want. And that's why we can use, like literally, we can just go right here, active and online filter, active and online filter. As you can see now, we don't repeat ourselves at all. Well, we repeat kind of, but like just model A, model B, it's normal. We use different classes. It's not that type of repetition. But instead of like real repeating queries, repeating arguments, queued arguments in Django RAM, we use filters. And we just return a dictionary that will be unpacked right here. So in my Python console, I have already made the migrations. If you're following along, what you need to do, of course, is py-manage.py make migrations, and then py-manage.py migrate. So again, I said that video is not for the beginners, so if you know Django, you know what I mean. Then make some objects using objects create, so model B, model A, objects create, and now what I want to do is from products.models, I'll import model A. And let's get all the objects from model A, so model A objects all, and as you can see, I have like what, 5 objects in my database. Okay, so let's import model B now. I don't have anything in model B actually, so let's go right here, model B object. So yeah, these are empty. So let's create simple objects very quickly. Is active true, is online false, from time point. So if you remember what I've said about my models, let's go to product models. We have model B with from time point to time point. Let's use from time point equals what to what, from Django utils import time zone, and then time zone dot now, like that. And of course we need to import, well, let's just import datetime. From datetime import time delta. Let's use that. To time point equals time zone dot now, time zone dot now, plus time delta. I'll explain what that means if you don't understand. Days 20, for example. So what do we do right here? Let's create it. Yeah, everything is alright. We create a model B objects create, is active is true, is online false, from time point is time zone dot now. So if you're using time zones in Django, and by default you are using time zones in Django, let's go to settings, and we have like time zone UTC and use TZ as true. Use L10N. Actually I forgot, L10N is for translation. I'm sure that I18N is for translation, but L10N I literally forgot. I think it's for the time zones. So you use time zones by default. And because of that we need to import time zone.now. So it gives us the current time, the current point in present. To time point is time zone now plus time delta days 20. In Python, time delta is a period of time. So it's not a point, it's a period. And we say that to time point is our current time plus 20 days ahead. So that's it. Now let's create some more models. So is active false, for example, is online true, and is online true, is online true. Okay, so now if I'll go and say model b.objects.filter is online equals true, and is active equals true, as you can see I only receive one model, which is model B, because in model B, let's go right here, is active and is online are true. Okay, that's great. Now what I want to do, I want to use a filter. So let's import that filter, and I'll show you how easy it is to use that filter again. So you don't, if you don't believe me that you can use like literally dictionaries in Django or RAM, then watch that. So active and online filter, and what do we do right here is we use active, oh there is no hints for me, active and online filter. Okay, now if I'll call it like that, so just active and online filter, of course we'll receive an error, because dictionary is not a keyword. But if I'll unpack my function, my filter, let's call it again, and as you can see we receive the same result as we received it in is online is true, because that's like the same type of thing. We literally just unpack our dictionary, and the best part of it is we can use that with our model A. So yeah, as you can see, model A, model B, everything works fine. But now, what if we have some serious logic? It's just a dictionary, yeah, so there is nothing great about it. However, what if we have some serious logic? Well, then we can use filters in classes. So for example, between time filter, like that. And between time filter, it's just a filter that helps us to get the models that were created or that have some property that says that that property was created in the past. And also they have a property that says that that object will delete, expire, or anything in the future. So for example, if you're using like, if you're making a film, so if, I don't know, a film or, what's the best example? If you have contact lenses, so if you have, for example, from time and expire time, yeah, when your product expires, what between time filter should do? From time should be less than now, but expire time should be more or bigger than now, or greater than now. And that's just how we should do it. So let's go in Python console. Oh no, I need to import it. Oh, again, from products models import model A. Let's work with that. And model A dot objects dot get or dot filter, where from time, because we have from time in our model, from time double underscore lower than, because in Python, if you want to compare dates, what you should do is use from time double underscore LT. So that means lower than, or LTE lower than equals. From time LT then, and again, from Django utils time zone import now, like that. From time LT now, but to time greater than, so GT greater than now. Let's run it, and as you can see, we receive how many? 4 models. So from time LT, again, from time lower than now, but to time greater than now, like that expression. Now let's copy that model A and let's use it inside of a filter. So what we can do? In Python, we have call function, and let's, instead of args and quarks right here, let's get only 2 arguments. So self as an argument, then from time name and to time name. So what is that? From time name and to time name are literally the names of our arguments of our model. Let's import now, because, or now, install, now where is import? From Django utils time zone import now, like that. And what I want to do now, after I import it now, I want inside of a call return a dictionary that has double underscore LT as now and double underscore GT as now. Actually, it's better to make it like that. So current time equals now. Current time, let's go right here, current time and current time. Okay, so LT and JT, so lower than, greater than. But instead of literally writing from time to time, as we did it in active and online filter right here, what I can do is write a string, for example. So I will like insert the variable inside of my string from time name and f to time name. So what do we do now? If you are not familiar with Python call, by the way, Python call is just a function that I'll show you in a minute. You can use whatever function you want because it's just your own class. That's what's great about filters in Django, because you can use like whatever you want. You can call any function, you can call other ORM objects. It's just your Python class, okay? And I use call. I'll show you what it does. Let's go to views and let's import that between time filter. Now, what I want to do? I want to use between time filter and make it as time filter equals between time filter. And instead of just unpacking my time filter, what I'll do? I'll use time filter parentheses. So call, it's the second parenthesis. So if you want to use your object as a function, so again, we create it right here, but we call it right here. If I go to the function, so let's go right here. Oh, I cannot do that. Okay, but it's just call. So when we use the next parenthesis after we created our object, we use call double underscore magic function in Python. Okay, so time filter, what it does? As you can see, we have different fields in our models. So model A has from time to time, but model B has from time point to time point. And that's why we cannot use like simple filter like active and online filter. And for example, you have a lot of modules that share the same logic. For example, you have a lot of modules that have is online, is active, I don't know, some name, some title for the product. But these are called differently because you cannot like contact all of the developers of these libraries, modules, and so on, and just tell them, please rename your argument. Or you cannot like repeat yourself, because if you have the same logic and you want to use that same logic everywhere, you cannot use the same arguments. Or you cannot use the same, you cannot use like the same ORM filter, because you just repeat yourself with different arguments. That's not what we want. We want to use filters. And now, from time name and to time name, let's go to views and let's call our filter with from time name equals to what? To a string of our from time. And to time name equals to time. Now, what do we do? We get from time and to time arguments. Then we go to time filter, right here. We get our current time. These are from time and to time arguments. We just insert them inside of LTGT and we get like the same result we got using like between or time LT, so the query I showed you before, because we literally insert the names of our fields inside of a dictionary, and we can do that because that's just strings. Yeah. Now we get what we want, so we get like the real query. We go to views, and now we just unpack it. That's how it works. If I want to make it for object B or model B, what I should do? I should copy that. So let's copy it. Let's remove object A, and let's, instead of active and online filter, use from time. And as you remember, we have from time point and to time point in module B. From time point to time point. And that's it. So we literally just give the different arguments. I will not show you how it works in URLs or in views because it will take a lot of time. Instead, I'll show you how it works in like real ORM queries in my console. So let's go right here. Now we imported everything, and let's use that query. So model A objects time filter is not defined, yeah, because we need to use time filter which is between time filter, like that. Let's call it again, and as you can see, we receive the same 5 objects we received or 4 objects we received before, because we literally just use the same logic. If you want me to show you what time filter looks like without any unpacking, as you can see, from time LT we get our datetime, to time GT we get our datetime. Now, if you want to use it with model B, all you need to do is literally just change the name of arguments. Let's run it again, and as you can see, we receive our objects. So that is how filters in Django work. Not every filter, and you will not find, like, if you Google for Django cool filters, you will not find that, because that is just how Django works internally, and nobody wants to, I don't know, I have never seen somebody that done video on that topic. But what is cool part about Django filters? They do not, like, there is no limitations with Django filters. The only limitation is valid queries at the end. And you need to return a dictionary, of course. Because what you can do is you can use if, for example, from time name, I don't know, equals to time name, you can erase value error, for example. You can use, I don't know, requests.get and then put something inside of here. You can use whatever you want because that's your own class. And there is no, like, the real prototype for that class, because I use call because it's just a very great thing in Python. Yeah, because everybody knows about it, but if you are not familiar with call, you can use call filter, like that. You can use, I don't know, filter. You can use anything you want. And that's how Django filters work, or at least how I expect them to work. So I think you understand what I mean using Django filters, and yeah, that's just a great tool. So thank you for the watching, improve your Django, and good luck.